when Kanye said Harriet Tubman didn't free the slaves, she just sent them to go work for another white person.
Right. So Harriet Tubman
Was a job recruiter.
Well, she worked for temp. She was a temp agency.
She was a temp agency, right?
And that's what I mean. Kanye West is never so mentally unstable that he says anything other than about incredibly incendiary things about black people.
Right. He's never really said anything about white people.
Nope. And he ain't so crazy that he can't sign a deal with the Gap. And he's not so crazy that he can't get a $5 million PPP card.
Right.
He's not that crazy. He's only crazy right around the time a project comes out.
Yeah.
And I don't.
And he talks crazy about black people.
That's what. And he knows what to do. He knows. If you said, let me tell you something. If you said anything like that about any other group of people, you'd be castigated because you said it about us. You get to do it. Harriet Tubman was called Moses. She led people. She risked, and he made what Kanye does that I despise is he constantly put an asterisk next to slavery, like it wasn't that bad. Like all she was doing was taking them from one job to another.
Right. Except the difference is that you could quit your job in the North.
Right.
You can't quit slavery.
Exactly.
You can't say, I'm not going into work today.
Right.
I'll go on unemployment.
So he made it seem and makes it seem like her accomplishments weren't a big deal. And he does it for, at the same time that was happening, Donald Trump, the Secretary of Defense, had agreed to take the Confederate soldiers' names off the bases, right? Mm-hmm. And in an interview with Chris Wallace, Donald Trump said, well, who are we going to put on the base? Al Sharpton? Of course, people know Al Sharpton is going to be a base. But Harriet Tubman might.
Yeah. I mean, Harriet Tubman's supposed to be on a $20 bill.
Right. And so...
But according to Kanye...
Right. So what he does is, it's not... Is it really that coincidental that you bring up Harriet Tubman at a time when they're talking about who we're going to name these bases after? And somebody who was supposed to be a current... I don't think it's accidental. And I tell you what, and I said this before, him and Donald Trump are exactly the same kind of people. They are both morally, they're demagogues. They are narcissists. Neither of them read, and I've seen both their wives naked. They're the same people. And then to say that I'm going to enter an election when you haven't, at the most pivotal time in American history,
and potentially split the vote.
And to not give a shit.
Yeah.
To not care. Like, when at a time like this, what are you going to do about unemployment? What are you going to do about a pandemic? What are you going to do about a shredded economy? What are you going to do? Because everybody can't wear fucking Yeezys and hear Jesus walks all the goddamn time. That's not going to fix it. Mm-hmm. But you believe that it's dope to insert yourself at a time like this? You're the worst fucking kind of human being. And I have no respect for him. And I think that it says more about the 2% of Americans that would support him than it does about him. He has a fucking excuse. Stop telling me that, he lost his mother. It's a lot of homeless people that had tragedy happen to them and they couldn't put it together. And they don't live in Wyoming or Calabasas. We'll pray for Kanye. When's the last time you prayed for somebody who had their fucking mind shattered on the street? You don't do that?
Yeah, I mean, people at this point just give him a pass and do he's going through mental illness right now. I don't give a fuck what he's going through.
Yeah. Be crazy and shut the fuck up. I tell you this. Then he took the homeless people's outfit and sold it to America for hundreds of dollars. He is, when you lose your mind and you're not, and when personal tragedy happens to you, look at how many service veterans are homeless now because we sent them to war and didn't give them the resources they needed. Do we pray for them? Do we give them a break?
Yeah.
They're maligned and he's rewarded. He gets $5 million from the government to help him with his business. We wouldn't spend that much money opening a fucking shelter.
Yeah, I mean, that's trash because honestly, when this whole thing started and I got together with my team and I'm like, should we apply for a loan? And we're like, we're doing okay financially. We don't need to apply. We're going to end up taking money from someone who actually needs it. Mm-hmm. So we didn't apply for a loan. Point blank. Vlad TV is doing okay through the pandemic. We're not just going to take a bunch of money just because it's there. The end. Yeezy is one of the most successful brands in fashion, period. What the hell are you doing taking loans right now?
They're the same. And then you get to pretend like you're fucking nuts. You get to pretend like you couldn't make these kind of deals. And I'm not saying that he's not mentally disturbed. I'm not saying that he didn't have problems, but I'm saying this. His problems are not the reason why he seems to disrespect black people and hates black women. That's irrespective of what's going on with him. Crazy. I mean, you having a mental problem doesn't make you say evil shit about slaves.
Right, because I believe, was it the day after you and I had our last interview that the George Floyd murder happened?
Uh-huh.
It was literally like the next day.
Yeah, or a couple.
Or maybe a couple of days. Yeah. And it was like, oh shit. Like, we're about to roll out this interview and completely ignore George Floyd because it just happened before we actually got a chance to speak on it.